And what we decided to do tonight is to put our mission front and center in this room. So many of you may have noticed, hopefully you've already participated, we're doing a clean birth kit assembly here tonight, and we're hoping to assemble 1,000 clean birth kits. So you'll see some empty bins to my left, and a lot of work has been done here on the right. Our hope is to fill these all up by the end of the evening. So I'd like to invite you to please join in at any point this evening to participate in that. As always, an event of this nature takes so much effort and support of so many individuals. I'd like to start by thanking all of our sponsors and donors, many of whom are here tonight. All the individuals who have contributed to making this room so beautiful this evening also. In addition, we've got many volunteers, and I'd like to ask them to stand up. So please stand up and be recognized. Tonight would not be possible without you. Don't be shy. For the last 3 years. They have organized every gala since 2000. I shouldn't do that. I don't know the math. I've got to count backwards. For the past 3 years. And we've been very fortunate. From May on, they give up their Tuesday nights to plan this event. And I'd like to thank everyone's families for the support of having them participate in that. But our planning committee, could you please stand up? I want to recognize Shannon Fons, Joan Carroll, Joe Ferrari, Denise DeRigo-Jones, Liz Kearns, Chris Lee, Thomas Bryce Towner, Bridget Stockton, and Miguel Williams. And a special thank you to Joe Ferrari, Miguel Williams, and Thomas Bryce Towner for leading our group through all of the planning. So I want to ask Joan Carroll and Bridget Stockton, please come up. We have a small gift for you. Again, thank you all. I hope you enjoyed the evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, again, my name is Susan McAdams, and I'm honored tonight to speak or to introduce the keynote speaker for the 2019 Global Health Charities Let Life Bloom Gala. Sister Mary Louise Stubbs, on my right, is the Executive Director of the Daughters of Charity, International Project Services of St. Vincent de Paul. In her directorship role, she coordinates the funding for projects for over 60 under-resourced communities around the world. She served in a variety of different roles with Ascension Health, Catholic Charities, and also Daughters of Charity. She holds a master's degree in Health Systems Administration from Georgetown University. When Patty and I first sat down with Sister Mary Louise, it was November of 2016. And the goal of the meeting was basically just to meet Sister and see, we were early on in the process, and see if we could form a partnership where we could deliver clean birth kits through some of Sister's communities in these under-resourced areas. Well, we realized in that meeting that Sister Mary Louise is a woman of action, because just a few weeks later, we had a request for 155 kits to be supplied to their maternity clinics in Nigeria. There are 11 of them. We said, no, we've got more than that. We have 500 kits, and we would love to give them to you if you're willing. And Sister said yes. And so they were on their way in a few weeks with the goal of getting them to those clinics, those 11 maternity clinics, by Christmas, which we made by just a few days. So that was a wonderful, wonderful day for us. A year later, we got an email from Sister Mary Louise, and this means a lot. Measurability is hard in the work that we're doing. We got a letter from Sister Mary Louise. The Daughters of Charity have put together a measurement of how the kits have performed, pictures, and testimonial from the midwives, and there were pictures of the babies, and it was just a very joyful day to get that email. The best part is she asked for 1,000 clean birth kits. We supplied the 1,000 clean birth kits, and on it goes. And it's been a wonderful thing. Sister's going to be talking a little bit about the success of those kits again. I want to announce that those 1,000 birth kits were put into use, and we're working on another 2,000 at this time for those 11 maternity clinics. The partnership could not be possible without the enthusiasm and the authenticity, and I would say the bias for action that Sister Mary Louise possesses. She's known for this. It's no nonsense. She's a woman that gets things done, and I can say personally, and Patty would agree, that she is so much fun to work with. She brings joy, so much joy to what she does, and always has a smile on her face, and I think that's because she never forgets who it is that she serves, and who it is, the final end user of what we're trying to do here. And Sister Mary Louise is a perfect example of that. So please join me in welcoming Sister Mary Louise Stubbs.
He has to lower the microphone. Yeah, he's trying to make me look good here. Thank you. Thank you, Susan. It's really an honor to be here. Eat. Finish your food. I haven't finished mine, so I want to tell you about some of the results that we've gotten with having access to clean birth kits. I want to thank Patricia Williams, of course, and Dr. Amina Bello for being here, who's the inspiration for a lot of what we do, and who works in the same geographic area as our sisters are working in Nigeria. Let me tell you first a little bit about International Project Services. The Daughters of Charity are a large organization within the Catholic Church. We're about 15,000 women dedicated to the service of the poor. We have sisters in 95 plus countries, including a new mission in Siberia, and 95 other countries. Among those countries, about 3/4 of them are in low-resourced areas, low-resource countries. And those areas can't get what they need. We have a lot of sisters, they go in, they work with the people, they find out the needs, they identify what it is going to make a difference, but they haven't got access to the resources they need to do it. So our office was started out of the International Daughters of Charity in Paris to be the development officers that help, to be the development office that helps people get the funds and resources they need. Well, one of those locations that we work with significantly is Nigeria. All of our women in Nigeria are Nigerian women. And I'll mention this right now because that makes such a difference to have women who are totally embedded, totally passionate about their own country, and totally passionate about the service of the most impoverished in that location. Because they bring not only that passion, but also the understanding and the cultural skills and knowledge that is needed. I think that that is a very key thing as you're working with different countries, is to really, really know that culture, which means you have to partner with the community. And I think that's what Patty has done in such a genius way, is she's able to really get the communities involved. Most of our work has been in southern Nigeria, I believe southern Nigeria. But the area where the pilot was done is areas that are isolated, impoverished, without access to quality care, and without access to a holistic approach of health care. There are some clinics. We work with the government in about 11 clinics there. But sometimes women are afraid to go because they don't have the money. They are in situations where they don't want to get involved in a system that might take their money. Sometimes the clinics don't even have the resources they need. So that it is most frequent that people will go to a local healer, a local midwife, people who have the basic skills but don't have the resources when things are not going well. And it's when things are not going well that you saw the statistics as you came in, how many deaths there are among women and babies during the whole childbirth era, during pregnancy and through the 18th month of the child. So when you're in those kind of situations, there's going to be more child mortality, more maternal health, more lack of health education. With the clean birth kits, because of the clean birth kits, we were able to do a pilot program, like Susan mentioned. It called Sister Mary Okuro, who is in charge of health for the Nigerian areas, and said, we have these birth kits, and I know we reached out to you with other things, but would these be helpful to you? And she said, well, we'll try it. We'll see. We'll see if this works. But what Sister Mary did, was she built a full program in that culture so that those birth kits became the incentive for a program that has changed the trajectory of maternal child health care in the areas where they are working. And I'll give you some data on that in a second. So when I say she did a program, you know how important things are prenatally. Exercise, appropriate food, prenatal medicines, the vitamins and all those big things they have to take, and visits, prenatal visits, none of which these women were getting. And so Sister Mary and her team put together an entire program that included, for exercise, dance, to music, in a group, so that there was a whole culture of support and things that were part of the normal daily life became a part of those pregnancies. They also built in some older women who had children already, who'd had good experiences and bad experiences. Because one of the things they wanted to encourage was, if there were problems with the pregnancy, first to find out if there were problems, but if there were problems with the pregnancy, to have it set up with a clinic so that they could get the birth experience that would bring them both through alive. And so those testimonials helped them also in the older women's. Sister Mary wrote to me when she finished this, that this is her exact quote, and they call it antenatal, not prenatal. So, communities were sensitized on the need for early and continuous antenatal care and skilled deliveries. Mothers who responded were registered, screened, and those who were found sick were treated. Others were given routine drugs and encouraged to report monthly, 2 weekly, and weekly, depending on their gestational age for follow-up. During antenatal care, they were encouraged to deliver in the hospital to prevent complications, with which most of them complied. Then, they were supplied with clean birth kits to aid them, so that the woman herself had the clean birth kit, took it with her, because sometimes the clinics are not able to have the supplies they need when they need them, and was able to provide that whole birth kit to the clinic when she went. The results? In this first year with the 1,000 kids, so it's really our second year, but within a year with 1,000 kids, we had almost 1,400 births. There were no deaths. No babies died. No babies died. No women died. No women bled to the point of losing their lives, which was fairly common. But that's not the only thing that happened. Because they had the whole program and the trust was being built, they were able to actually have 12,041 incidents of care out of that 1,000 kids. How did they do that? They increased all of the antenatal visits. They increased the number of immunizations of the children that were involved. They started the feeding program that touched the entire family and not just the pregnant woman. And so they had a marked and measurable reduction in malnourishment in children. They increased the community awareness of antenatal health. The respect for that care has really become embedded in the community. So, what's our next step? Well, you know, last time they asked for 1,000 kit, this time they asked for 1,500. But Patty tells me we're going to have 2,000. So you can just extrapolate that. And here are some of them, right here. Here are some of them that I will be sending to Nigeria pretty soon. So we will send these to Nigeria, and the next steps that they are going to do is they are going to start training local midwives who are interested in learning how to use those kits, and then supplying those local midwives so that those women who are in the villages and have a normal delivery planned will have the resources they need. They're also going to gather the information from this pilot, we're still calling it a pilot, although it's really a program now, and identify the components that make it a best practice. Now, I told you I work with 65 countries, 65 countries. Can you imagine if we can get this information out as a best practice? And we can. We will be able to demonstrate this will work whether you're in Cambodia, whether you're in India, whether you are in Nigeria. This same program will work because you build in the cultural component for the program. And then we are going to encourage each of those areas to start developing their own kits, to start developing their own training programs, so that the trajectory of health can start from one little kit in that bucket and change a community. And that kind of change will make a difference in the world. So these look like little kits, and I know we're having fun doing this, but they can really, really make a difference. They're not just plastic and a razor and a blankie. They're not just one child and one mother. They're not just 2 lives per kit. If there was just 2 lives per kit, it would be worth all the effort we're putting into it. But it's not just 2 lives per kit. It's a village. It's a village. And that village hopefully will continue to grow and get bigger and bigger. And you will be a part of it because you're a part of this project. And so I want to thank you on behalf of all those mothers. And I have the whole evaluation here. And if anybody is interested in seeing, in the sisters' own words, how they evaluated this program, I will have it over at table 12, and you'll be most welcome to look at it. So God bless you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you. Amen, amen.
Sending them to Nigeria. And I wanted to let you all know that we're very honored tonight to have both Sister Mary Louise Stubbs here, representing the Daughters of Charity, and also Her Excellency Dr. Amina Abubakar Bello, the First Lady of the State of Niger. I've had the pleasure of working with Dr. Bello for many years now. I've had the privilege of enjoying her hospitality in Niger State and of delivering these birth kits to Niger State. And so we look forward to continuing to do that. Dr. Bello is an obstetrician and gynecologist also, and she's the founder of the RAISE Foundation, which is working very hard also to reduce maternal mortality. So thank you both, Sister Mary Louise, Dr. Bello, both of you for being here tonight. And Dr. Bello and Mrs. Shakira Dawodu and Sani Umar, I think, win the prize for coming the furthest distance to get to the gala. They arrived yesterday, so thank you for coming.
What's going to go on in the process? Then I'm going to ask Her Excellency, Dr. Bello, to come up here and say a few words about what this means. She's going to help me actually pick this out. She is going to be, for us, PricewaterhouseCoopers. She'll provide the independence as far as picking out the thing. So we have one of 3 possibilities. Here's what goes on. Dr. Bello will come up here and talk just a second. She and I together will shake up the tickets. Dr. Bello will pull the ticket from there and she'll call out the number. If you win, if that is your number, then you will proceed up here in an orderly fashion. And then you will choose among one of my 3 lovely assistants, you will choose the suitcase with which you feel like has the prize that you most want. There's only one of these that you can get at a time. So you choose one and you choose wisely, and that's going to be your thing. So we have 3. We have the Mackinac Island trip in Detroit, which is, I'm from Charleston, South Carolina. So that being said, the Grand Hotel, it's a 2-night stay. It's a 1 room for 2 people, including tax and breakfast daily. You choose the second person to go with you. There's no judgment on who you choose. Discover Detroit. If you haven't discovered it, it's like pretty much, it's like right here. So, I mean, I'm just saying, it's not Lewis and Clark. It's like right here. Anyway, so you get to go to the Detroit Foundation Hotel. It's a 1-night stay, 1 room for 2 people, including tax. The Detroit Institute of Arts, if you love arts, that's a great one. The Michigan Peddler, so this is a $100 gift certificate for that. La Laterna, the dinner for 4, and then the Detroit Princess Riverboat. And what I think is my personal favorite is a trip to travel with Global Health Charities to one of these 3 locations. Thailand, if you've never been to Thailand, you need to go to Thailand. Myanmar, if you've never been to Myanmar, go to Thailand first and then try Myanmar. Nepal is great. I love all 3 of these places, but you'll get a chance. It's a coach airfare, hotels, meals, incidentals for 1 person only. You can probably talk someone into coming in with you as well. But those are the 3 choices. Now, this is a big event. If you don't mind, I want to have your indulgence for just a second. I'm going to ask Her Excellency, if she would, to please come up here with me. So Dr. Bella, if you would, choose our keynote speaker.
It's really a pleasure to come back here again. I want to thank Patty for inviting me, and also Sister for the wonderful lecture that you gave. I related a lot to what you said, and basically, my story is basically the same with what Sister has just told you. We started our foundation about 4 years ago now, and we started our maternal and child health prevention programs about that time. We met Patty in 2017 when we started working together with the birth kids. Now, one of the most important things that we have done, I think, is the birth kit distribution that we do. I will just illustrate with an example. We are currently working in 9 facilities in my state. My state is Niger State, it's in north-central Nigeria. So if you've ever been to Nigeria, Abuja is the state capital. We're just about 2 hours drive away from Abuja. Now, we have a lot of, we happen to also have the largest state in Nigeria. We have the largest landmass with very difficult terrains. So you have a lot of communities that are hard to reach, meaning they don't have access to basic health care. When we give it to them, they come, and we are able to save their lives and those of their babies. So please, I will encourage everybody to participate in this as much as possible, because you are actually saving lives. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Dr. Bella. All right, for the moment of truth, if you would, be so kind, shake it up as much as you can. Dr. Bella, if you would also do your magic shaking as well. What will happen is, let me open it. There's nothing to see here, folks. I have a vested interest. I would like to go as much as anyone else on these trips. But I'm going to open this up. We have all of the tickets. Dr. Bello, if you would, choose one of the tickets, circle it up. Let me let this sink in a second. It's 088. Look at your... All right. So here we have. If you would be so kind and please come up here. You do not know which one of these suitcases is it. Choose the suitcase carefully. There's only one right answer. All right. right, here we go. If you would please open up that suitcase. Yes, you would. And on the inside of that, there's going to be an envelope that'll be some indication as to what it is that you've got. And this one, if you'll flip it over, is in fact the Detroit suitcase. You got the Detroit suitcase. Don, welcome to Detroit. It's right over here to our west, or our east, somewhere, right around here, somewhere. To do the honors again this time. This time don't cheat.
Okay, 296. Ticket 296.
So 296, we have a winner. We have a winner. Come on up here. You have only two choices. You have the right choice and the other choice. Choose carefully. Can you verify the number? Oh my goodness, that's exactly the number. Please choose your suitcase. All right. We're going to open up and find out if you'll flip that envelope over on the outside. It'll tell you, you got the Mackinac suitcase. You are the big winner. I hope you like Bob Seger. Roll away. This is kind of the grand finale. I mean, this is the coolest trip that you'll ever go on. So, we've got one more number. Everyone can win if you bought a ticket. If you haven't bought a ticket, you come back next year and you'll win again. Dr. Bello, if you'll do the honors, this is the final ticket.
That's ticket 388.
388.
388.
Now, if this looks fishy to you, imagine what it looks like to everyone else in the world. This gentleman actually married this woman with the suitcase 72 years ago, and has culminated in this one thing. Scott, welcome to the GHC family. I still feel like you need to open it up and actually see if there's anything in there, because this could be the biggest prank that we've ever done. You are a winner. That's awesome. Hey, I want to thank everyone. Again, this is kind of a big deal. You guys have made this important work that we do. You really do help save babies. You help save the women. So thank you again for this gala. We're going to do a little bit more of the clean birth kits. We want to get all of these things done tonight. We're going to start dancing and playing some music. We've got, what time is it? Gimong Naha? Sipmong Leo?
Nice job. Let's give a big round of applause and let's all say happy birthday to Earl.